Get home bag. It's something that I'm a big proponent of. I think that everyone should have a get home bag in their vehicle. If you have some kind of situation to where maybe you just need something out of the bag, and that's happened to me a number of times. Or like we've shown, you're driving down the road, your car breaks down, you forgot your phone. And so you're not that far away, but you don't have a way to communicate, and you may have to walk home. And this just gives you a lot of needed supplies. Or it could be something really catastrophic and you do have a lot of supplies here. Now, I like this size pack for a get home bag because I don't want to pack it too full, but I want to have necessary items, but I want it to be not too heavy. And so this is the new Roaring Fire Brushfire. I had some input in this design because I really like this size. I like the way this bag looks. So I really wanted to show you guys after I've reorganized my get home bag, and this is how I keep my get home bag. So we're going to pull out the different items, we're going to look at it, we're going to also look at the bag itself because this is a great bag. Now you can find these bags at roaringfiregear.com, and if you use RF10 you get 10% discount, but that doesn't work during sales because you get a deeper discount. And we really appreciate Roaring Fire Gear for sending the Brushfire to show you guys my new get home bag setup. We're going to look at some of the external features, some of the materials, just to give you an idea, and then we're going to get straight into the contents. We've got a pretty decent weight on this bag, but that's what I want. I want as much as I can get, but only the necessities. This is a 1050 Demier Cordura. It does have a PU coating on it to make it water resistant. And of course, actually when you're outdoors, that's one of the problems. It's got a water bottle holder on one side. This is adjustable here. We can bring that up and then we can stuff other items in here. But it holds this water bottle really well. Here on the other side, we have some moly webbing. Now we'll look at a better look at this in a minute, but this is seatbelt webbing. It is extremely durable. We've got double stitching all the way through. Here at the front is a very unusual type setup, and I like this. It kind of takes it away from the tactical a little bit, just because it kind of accents these angles. Guys, the fact is, even though this is moly compatible, you can still take a carabiner, hook to this. You can do different things, make attachment points. And same thing on the other side. The back is extremely nicely padded. There is a decent amount of space in between, so this is going to let air flow. And these, I'm telling you guys, this mesh here, it's really well done. Here on the top is one of the yoke systems, and it rides really comfortably, and also very nice padding on the straps, and they're not stiff, but yet they've got some form to them. Seatbelt webbing all the way down, and again, attachment points. And here, I just have one of the emergency tools, and this is actually the O-Tackle. It's S1. This is from Obi, but this is a cool little tool. Has a glass breaker, has a seatbelt cutter, that works really well, and a little pry bar. So I want to keep that where I can, just to have it handy in case of emergencies. And then of course we have a sternum strap, and it also has the seatbelt material with Fastex buckles. And there is some elasticity to it. With this size pack, you really don't need a waist strap, and I'm glad they didn't add it because sometimes that just gets in the way. Now we have paracord pulls, heavy-duty YKK zippers, and they're double zippers. The thing about YKK is it's self-lubricating. The more you use them, the smoother they get. The top main compartment has a lock where you can lock this up, or you can take a zip tie and put it through here. But some of the small locks work well. Attaching this is just going to keep somebody out of it. And one thing I really like are the rubberized feet at the bottom. This actually allows this bag to stand up. And typically if you have a bag like this, they tend to fall over. They just fall. But this actually keeps it off the ground. If there's some moisture, you're not going to get it into your bag, even though this is coated. But it's going to just help preserve it. But I love these feet. I think that was an excellent addition. And we have a neoprene grab handle. Makes it really comfortable. And again, seatbelt webbing. Very silky, very comfortable. Now the bag is about 15 inches high, it's about 10 inches wide, and then fully stocked up, or full, it's about 9 inches in depth. So, it's got a nice solid feel to it. Honestly, it feels like a really large football. I've got it so packed. But, you don't have to fill these up. Just make sure that you have the gear you need, and don't try to just add a bunch of extra stuff. But now let's get into the pack. First, we have a pouch on the top, and we have a pouch at the bottom. And these are on the front of the pack. So again, double paracord pulls, and we have a nice generous compartment. these are items that typically I really need to get to. That's what I like to do. So first off, headlamp, vital. If I had one light, it would be a headlamp. It's a hands-free option. It's just really important to have a headlamp with your gear. You know, you're going to have your EDC items, and you know, some of this will be redundant, but this is something that you can't replicate, except unless you have a clip and you got to have a ball cap, and it's still not as good. This is the Perun 2 Pro from Olight, and what I love is I can take this off, I can use it. It comes with a clip, but you take the clip off to put it into the little harness, and this thing is super comfortable to wear. Then I have a bandana. This to me is a very important part of my get home bag, and mainly because there's so many uses for this. You can carry it, you can put it over your face, you can keep smoke. If you need to kind of disguise yourself, you can do that as well. If you're cold, you can put it around your neck, you can carry things, you can make a hobo sack. Just a ton of different things you can do with this. Wipe your head off. We did a video a few years ago about, I think it was 50 reasons that I carry a bandana in my get home bag. And then as far as in the pack, it's just solid on the front, but then we have a mesh little sleeve. And so that way you can divide things out, but it's not too cumbersome and just makes a nice little space. Here on the bottom, we have a compartment as well. These are almost like just pouches that just attach to the pack. And so you can really organize these. So you bring this down, a lot of stuff in here. Big one, paracord. You know, having cordage is important. This is just a great way. It's the spool tool, great way to organize your paracord. Comes with a small lighter. Fixed blade knife. This is very important. This is from Stroop Knives, and they do a fantastic job. They're in North Carolina. I met those guys at the gathering at Palmetto State Armory. Nice sheath. It's not a very large knife. I could carry a larger knife, but I just like this size, and I like a fixed blade knife. Yes, I have a knife in my pocket, but it's small, and this is just going to give you more leverage, and it's going to be able to do more tasks. Have a Silcock wrench. This is great if you're in an urban environment and you need to get to water. If you'll notice, most of your city water sources, they have a really unusual nozzle or no nozzle, and that's because you need a Silcock. Water. Water is vital, and we have just one of the Aquamira Frontier filters. This is just great. I think it will filter 11 gallons of water, and it's very simple. Again, this is just a get home bag, so I want something minimal. Chapstick. Now this is the rip spool from Exotac, and it has duct tape all around it. It has Kevlar thread, and then inside it has a sail needle. Any kind of repairs that I need to do, I can do it with this. And so this is just a great, and you can see how much duct tape there is on here. I mean, it's quite a bit. I mean, let's face it, guys, I can repair my pack. I can repair maybe some torn pants or a shirt or a jacket, or maybe even shoes. So this is just something I like to have. Now, while I have a standard multi-tool, I've got one of the Swiss soldier tools, and this just has a lot of different instruments and tools on here. One of the things I really like is it has a pair of scissors, but just a ton of different things that are not necessarily on a standard multi-tool, especially the corkscrew, because you never know when you might need a corkscrew in SHTF. And then here at the bottom, we have a mesh pocket, and it has a zipper, and I keep wet wipes. Wet wipes are going to help with my hygiene. Wet wipes are also going to help if I need to go to the bathroom. And you would much rather have some wet wipes than the leaves. And that's it for the front pouch. Now here behind the grab handle and between the yoke, there is a small little compartment. And in here is for eyeglasses. It's for your cell phone. You can even put a battery backup in here. The big thing is it has this really soft material. It's going to protect things. So you can stuff different items in there, and it's just going to give it an added level of protection. Then also between the main compartment and your padding in the back, we have a concealed carry compartment. And so that way I've got my concealed carry option. Obviously I'm carrying it on my body. But if I want to have a backup, and then I can also throw in an extra magazine. And then too, there are some Velcro type holsters, and typically that's what I'll do. In fact, when I actually put this in my car, I'll have one of those Velcro holsters. This just protects it as well. It's a very soft material. It fits in there. It stays in the position to be able to draw it. And again, you can put other things in here if concealed carry is not what you can do in your particular area. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections. Now we're going to get into the main pouch. And we have our Waikiki zippers, very heavy. This does unzip all the way down, which I love that because I can really open this thing up. Now I love the mesh material. I can see what's in here, and yet it's still somewhat subdued. We've got a lower and upper compartment. So we're going to get this upper compartment rolling, and we have just a small boo-boo kit. I do have some antibiotic ointment in here, some Band-Aids, some pain reliever, and then I've got $100, and I have $1 worth of silver, which is just 4 quarters, and these are actual silver. I keep $100 behind my cell phone in the back compartment, and that's just what I normally do. But just to give me a little extra, it's in this pack, and in case I lose my cell phone or it gets taken from me, I've got a backup. And then in the next compartment, we have our battery backup. We have a cord to charge it just in case we happen to have an opportunity. And then I have my cell phone cord, power cord, and I have my flashlight charging system. But that is kind of like my electronics area right in here. But I really like this mesh netting. It's very well done, very sturdy. Everything is stitched very well. And that's one thing. It even has this lip that goes around the outside just to hold its shape. At the very top of the main compartment is a tourniquet, and we have some compression gauze and hemostatic agents. This is just a small mini trauma kit. I like to keep it right in the top so you can get to it really fast. You might want to put it in the front here. The only problem is because of all the admin pouch area, it just kind of puffs up. So I just thought this would be a great place. I can get to it right away. Next, watch cap. You have a lot of body heat that escapes from your head. So having a good watch cap, they're small, tiny, you can pack these up, but vital in really cold weather with winter coming up. Also socks, guys, you need an additional pair of socks. Your socks can get dirty, wet, and you need to take care of your feet. It could be an all-day walk. Now I didn't put a change of clothes in here because again, I'm close to home. I shouldn't be more than a day to get home. But I did put a fleece in here. Now obviously if you're out, especially during the winter time, you should have a coat. You should be dressed for the weather. But sometimes layering up can help. And so I just have one of these soft fleece overshirts. I can throw it on, and it just gives me an extra layer of warmth. Always, heavy meal trash bag. This is something I take in all my packs. I can use this as shelter. I can put it as a wind guard. I can fill it with whatever I'm trying to carry. I can actually harvest water in these. There's a bazillion uses. This is one of those items that has so many uses you can't do without it, honestly, because it just gives you a lot of choices. Speaking of shelter, we have one of the SOL emergency bivvies. This is like a miniature sleeping bag, and it has the Mylar inside. And this can save your life if you're stuck in a vehicle without any kind of blanket. You're sitting in a snowstorm, whatever. This is going to help maintain your body heat. And they're small, and that's what I love. It's not like a big old sleeping bag. It's going to take up too much room. Next, we have a silky saw. Guys, this is something else I am a huge fan of, and I have a ton of different sizes. There's a ton of different sizes, but I have a number of them. This is something that I like to keep in any of my packs. The way the teeth are excellent. The way they're cut is an old Japanese style that really cuts very well and very smooth. So these are great. I found this when I was at a survival school that Fieldcraft Survival was putting on, and this is just excellent. You never know when you might have to cut a limb down if it's blocking the road. You need to make some fire for a fire, or you need to cut wood to build a fire, or you just need to cut different things. I like this much better than a hatchet. And that is in this small side pouch, which it has another side pouch over here, and you can put different items. I chose to put just standard zip ties because these things are just get everywhere, and this is a great place to keep them contained. There's an elastic band at the top which allows that to stay right into place. But just because it's there, guys, doesn't mean you need to fill it up unless you have a good reason. Then here at the back I have a map, and guys, I'm big on maps, huge. I think maps are vital, And because if GPS goes down, if your phone falls into the water or whatever, I mean, there's a number of reasons to have a good paper map. Some you can get coded. This is just one of the maps that I happen to have. Local maps are the best, and actually I have my local map in my other bag, which I'm going to take out, but have a map. Now there is a sleeve in the back. It is padded. You can take a 14-15 inch iPad, slip it in here, and it's going to protect it. Plus you have padding on the back. So that does give you an option for electronics. Now here's my fire kit. It needs to be in a separate compartment because if I need to make a fire, I don't want to hunt through all the different sections to be able to find something. This is a small little pouch, actually from Roaring Fire Gear. It complements this pack very well, seatbelt material, and we've taken a look at this previously. But again, YKK zippers. Here's the thing though, is fire is essential. It can boil your water, it cooks your food, it gives you heat, it gives you light, it can actually keep predators back. It's just one of the most important survival tools. The first thing we have is a Bic lighter. And that's the most convenient way, but Bic lighters will go out on you if you're not careful. The fuel can come out if this gets depressed. These can corrode if they're not watched. So while it's easy and fast, these are the fastest to go out on you. Which leads me to fire steels. I'm a big fan of fire steels. These will go forever. Ferrocerium rods are just, they've got tens of thousands of strikes. This actually can be replaced here in the top. This is the fire rod from Exotac. This has one of the tinder tabs in here, which honestly guys, one of the most difficult parts about getting a fire going is not having the right tinder. And you can make tinder, but this really makes life a lot better. And also we have a nano spark from Exotac, and this just creates a spark. And if you have those tinder tabs, you can still light it up, or Vaseline and cotton balls. We have some Vaseline and cotton balls. This is one of the easiest ways to make some kind of fire tinder. To get your fire going, it has accelerant. It's just that Vaseline in there that just burns. But I also like tinder tabs. And these are excellent. They're impregnated with probably wax or something that really get a fire going and they'll burn. The U.S. military uses these type fire starters, and so I like to have, again, redundancy. And I have matches, and these are actually waterproof, and you can dip them in the water, pull them out, or lifeboat matches. These are what I keep in all my packs as well. And we have a knife. You want to make sure that it has a good carbon content to be able to set off your ferro rod. And this is actually the Splint. It's one of the O knives, and just a good, nice utility knife with G10 scales. And we have one of the 4-hour candles, and this is also from Exotac. They make a number of different sizes. This is a great way to get a fire started. It'll just burn for a while, or it'll give you some light. A lot of cool things about having a long burning candle. And then here in the very back of the pouch, I have some fat wood. And fat wood will just give you that little bit longer time to get that fire started. Once the Vaseline and cotton balls or the tinder tabs have burned out, these will continue to burn. And then at the front of the pouch, I have a Fresnel lens. Now this is really good if it has bright sunlight, but otherwise, you know, it can be iffy. But again, redundancy. Now this is just a pouch that I have a lot of things that I like to use that I need. And so this just keeps them well organized. This is the Smolder from Roaring Fire Gear. It has wax canvas. This is my honest to God favorite pouch. I love this pouch. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. It's going to be water resistant just because of the wax canvas, and you have a little hook and loop field. These are great. And we have metal YKK zippers. Again, very easy to bring back and forth. You have a small compartment here, which I sometimes use and sometimes I don't. Here we can bring these around and it just opens up the pouch. Now I got the backpack out of the way so we can just look at this because there is a lot to unpack here, literally. Okay, we have a zipper at the front that has a mesh net. And one thing I do want to show you is that this is sectional. So I can get this right out of the way and it gets to these different items that we have like a conventional pouch. But here I've got this. I just love that. And so we have our YKK zippers, nice mesh, we can see through it. I do keep a compass, and this is one of the Sunto compasses. But compass, especially with your map, you really could use a good compass. And then, I'm not big on packing up a bunch of food. And the reason why is because I'm only thinking about this for a day. This just happens to be trail butter, and it's dark chocolate and coffee almond butter. This is going to give me protein. It's going to give me some strength. And you could put lifeboat food, you could put Cliff Bars in here, whatever. But my big thing is getting home. So this will just help me to get home. And then I do have some coffee, but this is cold brew coffee. It's instant. I can just mix it up with some water and I have coffee. And I really have to have coffee or it is SHTF. Here on this side, have a Sharpie. I always put Sharpies in there. I have a space pen, and this is one of the Fisher space pens that'll even write upside down. Also, I have a small little pad back here, and this is field notes, but I also use Write in the Rain. And that way, if I need to write anything down, I can do that. I have one of the Griffin tools, this little pry bar. It's a multi-tool. They do a great job on these. They make a number of different sizes. And I have a pair of fingernail clippers. I have a small little S1 baton flashlight. Having another small flashlight, I like redundancy with my lights in case something happens. And then I have a small little, and this one actually is the iMini 2. It goes on this little carabiner. If I need to look at anything on my pack, all I have to do is pull this loose and it cuts on. And so I can look and then I can just hook it back in. This is a really cool design. I love it. And I keep some batteries, and these are the CR123s. I just keep 4 as backups. Even though a lot of these are rechargeable, these are the batteries I typically use with my flashlights. Then here on the other side, I keep a knife. And guys, I have a little redundancy with knives, but knives are very important. This is a Sabenza. This is really a very nice knife, and again, you need a knife. I do have an extra lighter that I just keep in here. That's redundant. You could maybe do with it, do without. But again, this is the most convenient way to start a fire. I have a little repair kit. These are just some safety pins, and it does have a small little fishing kit in here if I want to use it. Just has some hooks and sinkers and some monofilament line. I mean, I could use a little fishing pole. And then we have our SOG multipliers. This is a very capable set of pliers, and of course it has all the knives and all the different things that multi-tools have. I like to have a larger multi-tool because a lot of things, you know, that I need to do that are going to be vital, I think a larger multi-tool works well. Alright guys, here are all the items that were in the bag. We've got everything laid out, and we have our tools, we have our fire kit, we have our shelter, and also protection from the weather. We have our medical self-defense, we have electronics, we have our map. I mean, everything is laid out here that goes in this bag. Now, unfortunately, I did this on camera, but I didn't turn on record. So this is actually just a photo that I happened to take. But this is all the items that were in the bag. Guys, again, you can set this up however you want to. If you're using it for a work bag, if you're using it just for EDC items, and you may have a totally different setup. But if you're looking for a get-home bag and how to set it up, this makes an excellent option. Again, I think it's very important that you have a get-home bag in your vehicle, every member of your family. It's just those little personal SHTFs that can happen, and these items will just get you through. And if things really get tough, this is definitely going to be vital. And again, we really appreciate Roaring Fire Gear for sending the Brushfire for this review. This is my new get-home bag. This will go in my vehicle as soon as this review is over. I really like the way this is set up. And so maybe it'll help you if you're looking for some different items. You may have holes, or you may have some items that I might have missed, and you can put them down in the comments. It always helps us as a prepping community to be prepared and to help each other. And you get 10% off using RF10 from Roaring Fire Gear, and that is deactivated during sales. But you get a better deal. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. This is the SOG. It's a SOG. Pliers. These are the pliers and the plier. And we live in a very convenient world, so I don't want to do all that. I don't want to do that. Now, let's do that all over because that sounded dumb. Do whatever, suits what you're getting ready to do. What are you gonna do?